he is the whole package minus.
Yeah, he is.
No. Yeah, all right, boys. Count me sense.
Wow.
It's the reverse come down with me.
I am actually willing
It's
to
the
drop
worst
that down
night of
to
my
a-
life.
to an 8, but I think he's been better.
So we'll get onto that and we'll go on to into Red Bulls.
When did he
What-
take over the podcast?
No, because we're not at Red
chairing
Bull.
the
Because
meeting,
I,
right?
no,
okay. Question about titanium dioxide in the food sources.
Oh my god, that is my favourite conspiracy theory in the world.
he might have a chance, but
That's what Yuki does.
Yuki was in Red Bull. I've gone soft.
Whoa.
Just to finish up, Cam, what did you... Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Ahead at the Apex. We are doing our final episode before Christmas, and it is, of course, the end of season F1 driver ratings. For anybody who didn't join us for the mid-season F1, the mid-season MotoGP, the end of season MotoGP ratings, here's how this is going to go. We're going to go through the teams in alphabetical team order because that's how they were listed on a scrapable website. Other Wikipedias are available. And we'll go through the drivers. We'll try not to spend too much time on some of the less controversial opinions as we did in the mid-season. And essentially what we'll get is we'll get an average for the people who are here at the mid-season. We'll get an average for the teams at the end, and all of that will go up on the website. Try not to run through too many details all in this podcast because we do have a finite amount of time. Okay, now the big one. So, Constructors Champions, McLaren. So, the Norris and Piastri quali head-to-head is 15-all. Piastri has had the advantage 4-2 in sprint qualies. Race head-to-head, Norris 13, Piastri 10. Piastri has a 3-2 advantage in the sprints. Points-wise, Norris obviously wins the Drivers' Championship with 423 to Oscar's 410. This has been just 50-50 all season, right? 0.03 seconds average gap to Norris in qualifying. Both on 7 race wins, 5 for Lando in the first half, 2 in the second half, 6 for Oscar in the first half, 1 in the second half. Lando has never had a 3-race run of form. Oscar has had 3 victories on the bounce. Oscar has perhaps been slightly more consistent in podiums, whereas Lando has taken bigger chunks of points when Oscar struggled. Look, I've given Lando an 8.5, and I've given him an 8.5 an extra point because he did win the world title. However, I think he has been absolutely average for how good that McLaren has been. And as I just said to you not an hour and a half ago, he hasn't overtaken Max Verstappen on track. He has at
any point this year.
He has at no point dethroned Max Verstappen by overtaking him on track. There is one overtake, which is in the Brazil Grand Prix when Max was about to pit and Lando had just pitted, and it's a DRS overtake. At no point have the two gone head to head and Lando's come out on top. 2 or 3 times Max has overtaken Lando. I just don't think he's been good enough for a world champion. 8.5. I'm willing.
8.5. Wow. It's the reverse come down with me.
I am actually willing
It's
to
the
drop
worst
that down
night of
to
my
a-
life.
to an 8, but I think
10.
he's been better than Leclerc in terms of, he's actually won the Drivers' Championship.
Jeez.
I feel like these guys are itching more than me to
Yeah, go on, Cam, you go first.
Right, so more justification then. So I absolutely will come on to Piastri, obviously, but I sang the praises of Piastri in the mid-season.
We all did.
And I didn't absolutely batter Norris. I gave him a 7 out of 10. But I did say that I wanted more, because it just felt like it was going to be the same sort of things that was happening last season that was going to cost him the championship again. When it just always felt like his to lose this season, and he was letting Piastri walk it. However, in the second half of the season, something changed. He absolutely turned the tail, and I'll give Josh this. I don't think it's as much Lando going and grabbing that championship. Because we'll get on to Piastri, but I do think he bottled it a bit.
Yes.
But regardless, he's won. He had it all to do in that second half of the season, and he did it. I give him 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that for my personal one, it's 8 out of 10 for the season. But yeah, he did what he needed to do at the end of the day. And if it wasn't for the cars getting disqualified at Las Vegas, it would have been wrapped up sooner, wouldn't it? So
yeah,
or a lot easier at least. Yeah. So yeah, to say he's not a worthy world champion is a bit harsh, but
I don't think he's a worthy world champion.
But at the end of the day, he's seized his opportunity and he's done it.
Just throw that out there for the environment to absorb.
Take it in. I've given him a 9.
9.
Yep. So
it's only 0.5 more than what you gave him.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I've only given one driver that high.
After the DNF at the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That was when he had his turnaround from there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he hasn't won. He's been there.
Yeah.
And he's ate away at that. Mm-hmm. He then got out in front. You've then got a rampaging Max Verstappen coming back. And can we just, he's been in the title fight, Max, how many times has he achieved that when he's gone rampaging back at him?
Every time.
Didn't this time.
2 points. Come on.
Oh, come on. I ain't been funny. Has he won it?
No.
So he's over, isn't it?
No, but we just agreed that he should have won it because Lando should have got a penalty in the last race, but never mind.
Why should Lando got?
Because he went off the track.
Took off track.
No.
Okay. What?
Come
just
on.
listen to the episode.
Just listen to last week's episode.
Tsunoda definitely. That I thought they got the call perfect.
Okay. To summarize what we just talked about on last week's episode, Tsunoda should have been penalised perhaps for weaving, but just because Tsunoda was weaving doesn't mean the justification for Lando not getting penalised was okay.
No, I disagree there.
2 wrongs do in fact not make a right. They just make 2 wrongs.
I don't even think Tsunoda should have been penalised, but that's fine.
Okay.
No, so we'll get onto that. And we'll go on into Red Bulls.
When did he take over the podcast?
No, because we're not at Red Bull. Because
okay.
Because
no, we're talking
that
about Lando.
situation shouldn't be there.
Yeah,
as we were discussing. But we can, because I have some thoughts on that later on.
Okay,
we're talking about Lando. I gave him an 8.5 as well. He was better. I just can't get over how he can't start. I just can't get over it.
Yeah.
Did he? End of the year, did he still have a negative first lap? I mean, that's rubbish.
He has a negative average quality to average race result, and his average race result is 2.5.
Well, I mean, he did it in the end, He did it in the last one. Yeah, I mean, I think, look, he was obviously good, and I think he was definitely better than Piastri. I think he was much better than Piastri, actually, in the second half of the year. I think we can say that there's a lot of credit there to improving. I think there was a lot of mistakes that he did clean up, so credit to that. But I still don't think he was brilliant.
No.
I don't think he was exceptional. I thought he was very solid, very good, and had a few great races. I think
Brazil.
Yeah, Brazil was a good one. There was one that just
Mexico.
For
Mexico. Mexico just destroyed it. Mexico just destroyed, and that was great. But that was one of his 2 wins from the whole second half of the year. It's not, I don't think it's 9-10 worthy because of that. But I still, absolute massive credit to him. I think we talked a lot of, we really laid out his criticisms. Yeah. And I think he did rectify a few of them.
And what have you given Piastri on the other side of the fence?
I gave Piastri a 7 because I think, assuming his engine was not turned off by McLaren, I think Qatar was a brilliant performance and a good comeback performance, but you can't excuse the few races of 8th position. You can't.
Or in the wall of Baku.
Yeah, you can't. So I think, but he had a terrible start to the second half, decent end to the second half. So, halfway between, just under halfway between 5 and 10, I think seems about right.
We'll go back around. So, Matty?
6.
Oof.
From where he was, if I'm looking at it as a scope of a season, he was 34 points clear.
Yeah.
He was the new Kimi Räikkönen. There was ice in his veins. He didn't care about who was around him. He was consistent. He was quick. And he forgot to drive. Forgot to turn the steering wheel. He just puts it in walls.
Yeah.
Performances just fell off. He come back for 2 races at the end? You could say 3, but Vegas doesn't count. But until then, you can always say about the penalty in Brazil, it wasn't his fault. He had a right to go there. But if you're trying to catch up, how much jeopardy is in that move? When you've got a Charles, then you've got a Kimi, you're going to be the last. You're coming into that tight turn 1. It's stuff that he then started doing that everyone's like, oh no, he's so good, and lauding him for it. For me, he threw it away, he bottled it. Yeah. And for that, if you'd have asked me beforehand, that I'd give him a right score at the beginning of the first half of the season. That's the one time I did agree with Cam where he was shooting the lights out. He was better, but he went to pieces.
Cam?
So he did bottle it.
He did?
He did. Like I say, first half of the season, he looked every bit what you expect of a world champion. And what happened? 6 out of 10 for the second half of the season. For the drop-off was just so big. In terms of everything, he wasn't qualifying well, he wasn't doing well in his races. He brought it back a little bit towards the end, but I think pressure was off him by that point. He probably felt like his sen, it were gone by that point. Have we ever really seen a downfall of someone in terms of like looking absolute odds on to win a title to then coming third?
Fernando Alonso 2010
but that was a lot closer throughout the season though, wasn't it? Like if you would have said to anyone at midway point of the season, like everyone would have had Piastri winning the title.
Yeah,
he was absolutely dominating everything, and the drop off was just inexcusable, really.
I think this is where the management of fine, we're having a bad weekend, but sometimes a 7th is fine.
Yeah.
Sometimes a 7th is better. Just settle with your 4 points, 3 points. Don't put it in a wall. Yeah. That kind of thing. I think that's what he missed on. I think, and you alluded to the move in Brazil. Completely agree. I think a 4th place is fine. A 5th place is fine. He didn't need to do that and then compromise. And I think obviously he was trying to recover from the banana slip on the sprint. But I think this is, and I think actually the benefit of Norris's last year helps teach him that more.
Yeah, perhaps.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And I think if Oscar had a bit of that hindsight, maybe he would have acted a bit differently. But I think this is, to me, it was really interesting because it demonstrated what you have to do to win a title. And it's not just you have to have 3 wins in a row and look at epic. You are probably going to have some bad races. How do you deal with those bad races? I don't think he did that well enough. And that was the main thing. Because if he came 5th in all of the ones in his dip, probably would have won the year. I don't know. I'm just saying that. But
so I just realised I had to just change my grade for Oscar because of papaya rules. So I've given him a 6.5. It's the opposite -1 of what I gave them in the first half of the season. Mercedes. So George has absolutely annihilated Kimi Antonelli. There's no question about it. Quali head-to-head, it's 25-5, 4-2 in the sprints to George. Race head-to-heads, it's 21-3, 5-1 to George in the sprints. It's 319 points to Kimi's 150. Yeah. Look, Kimi's a rookie. I get that. There's this whole question about titanium dioxide in the food sources.
Oh my God. That is my favorite conspiracy theory in the world.
Whenever they go to a country, you heard this, Cam? Whenever they go to a country with titanium dioxide that are allowed in food, Kimi does well. Whenever they don't, he doesn't.
Weird. He does really well. He does really well.
Look, we've said on this before, Tim, that George has stepped up. Even when he was still with Hamilton, he stepped up to be this team leader at Mercedes, and he's shown it this year more than anything. I'm going to do both at the same time. So I've given Kimi a 6.5 and George an 8.5. Just because I think, Kimi's had a poor run at the start. He's turned it around. He's matured a bit.
Whoa, did not have a boring. Yeah, this bloody Miami weekend.
Yeah,
he was making a lot of mistakes.
He also had poor qualifying and ups and down results.
It's the 6 races where he did score a point in the middle of the season that really. That's when he had to be told by Toto to be a good boy and get back in line. If he hadn't have had that, you don't know where he would have been after that. But he had to have that stern talking to because he went 6 races without a point. It's not good enough in a Mercedes, really.
But, he's been in the top 6 consistently the last sort of 5-6 races. So I would say that's pretty good. And George an 8.5 because he's just been the best of the rest after the top 3 consistently. And I throw it to I know it's not really a metric that many people use, but the fantasy league that the 3 of us are part of, he has 100% positive scoring record, which means he's not dropped loads of places. He's not had DNFs. He's not had DNSs. He's not retired for any mechanical issues apart from in qualifying in Monaco, and he's just gained places. So what more can I say? That he's just put in the season he needed to while the car's not quite there.
Yeah. I'll just do both of mine at the same time as well. So George, I've bumped him up to an 8 out of 10 from 7 out of 10. For the first half of the season, he's just been ultra consistent, hasn't he? Yeah. He's arguably been the most consistent driver on the grid all year round in terms In terms of he's never really had a big lull. He's just sort of been there all season. Kimi Antonelli, less mistakes in second half of the season, definitely improved. So I've took him from a 5 out of 10 to a 6 out of 10.
George is the only one to have won a race apart from the top 3.
Yeah.
We've only had 4 race winners this year. That's
God, what impressive. A change from last year. Do you not remember?
Yeah.
We had everyone won a race last year.
Yeah, apart from Lewis.
You have a race.
Matty.
Yeah, I've given Kimi Antonelli a 6.5. He come in with such high expectations.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether being 19 and put in that position put the pressure on him too much. And when he started to get something, and the buzz was, this is why he's here. That's why we're on that 6 race, no finish. He's only 19. He will learn. What we have seen of his pace, he's quick.
The pace
when he's there. So he needs to put the rest together.
Yeah.
And he's a 6.5 because he had that big lull in the middle of his season. George Russell, 8.5. He's been, like Cam said, consistent driver. He's led that team. Now the GOAT's gone. So, you know what I mean? With the whispers that the Mercedes engine is going to be the thing next year, world champion potential, because I think if you're going to put your money anywhere without it being silly on.
I've got him and Max to fight out towards the end of the season next year.
Yeah, I think Mercedes engine with a George Russell that's as consistent as he is.
Yep,
I think he could be there.
I don't think it'll be close as it was this year.
No.
I think George. The Red Bull will have that dip at the start of the year, and then they'll come back. But I think George will be consistent, and he'll win it halfway through.
He'll win it in Singapore.
Yeah, something like that.
The thing what will help George a lot is you would expect Kimi Antonelli to be closer to George than Hadjar is to Verstappen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that could be the difference, because that was probably the difference this year. If Max had a bit more help this year, he probably walks away world champion.
I think, I have thought that this whole year for George has been Operation World Champion 2026. I think they knew they were not going to be competitive. I knew they're always going to be good in Canada for some reason. They're good at racing when it's bloody cold, like in Russia and stuff. But we don't race in Russia anymore, obviously. But you said it all.
What have you given him?
I went 8.5, which was the same as I gave him in the first half, because I think he was just dead consistent. Yeah. And then Kimi, I gave a 6.5 because I gave him a 6 in the first half, and I thought he was slightly better.
Unsurprisingly, that brings them to 8.4 and 6.4. So, yeah.
Nice.
We're all in fairly good agreement. Okay, Racing Bulls. This time it's just Lawson and Hadjar that we have to consider. So, Hadjar has a 21.6 advantage in quali head-to-head and a 5-0 in sprint quali. Hadjar also has a 13.8 in race head-to-head and a 4.1 in sprints. 38 points to Lawson and 51 points to Hadjar. We've already had Rookie of the Year. Hadjar is obviously a name that was in contention for that. He's outperformed Lawson, who, yes, is classified as a rookie, but has had half a season's worth of experience in that car.
He's had a Karun Chandok career before.
Correct. God, I love Karun.
He loves Q3.
He loves Q3. Never made it, but he loves Q3. One podium in the Netherlands, which was on pace as well. It wasn't even like, yes, Lando DNF'd, but it wasn't like he was far behind Max. He was pushing Max to the end. Car started the season strong, didn't develop throughout the season. It's clear that RB has just dropped. Like, it started really well, and everyone was like, "Oh, is Max going to jump in the RB?" But
oh my god, I remember that.
But by the end of the season, it was nowhere. For a rookie, he's performed well, and I've given him a 6. Tim,
I've given him a 5.5, which I think maybe is harsh on the basis that he looked to have been worse because everyone else looked to have got better.
Yeah.
But on paper, it was a poorer end to the season than the start. So I just took a point off. But I still think he's a wicked driver, and I think he will be. Well, I mean, depends, right? Is he another one to the Red Bull graveyard? But
we'll see.
I like him. I think he's good. I think he's competitive. I think he's a bit too much of a fanboy, though. I think every single time he does anything, they're always, God, he loves Lewis Hamilton and he's just overtaken him in an arbor. Okay, like he actually is his own person. Like, you can detach him a bit. But I think he's going to slowly carve a space in the sport for himself. And I'm looking forward to that. So I think for a first year, I think it's been a good performance, but didn't finish super strong.
Yeah.
6.5 for me. I've just lost my note that I had. Wanting to keep going to the bottom. Lost everything.
Brilliant.
Yep. No, we're back. He was, like as we said, Rookie of the Year candidate. He was close for me. The podium, he recovered from that horror start as well.
Yes.
Nothing could be worse. I know you probably covered that in the first half, but obviously
they're
not here.
The DNSing.
But then the amount of people that also did the same thing, but in the race, just showed that how treacherous he was.
Yeah.
The only gauge is he was against the Lawson. So
Liam Lawson.
I'm Liam Lawson. Yeah, he was
Get
against.
out of my way.
That's where you can't really gauge him too well because the car was being handled. The other one, if you put somebody else in there, would it be different?
Yeah.
Would it be not? But he could be in trouble next year at Red Bull.
Oh.
The upside for him is new regs, and obviously the old regime has gone. So they could be actually with Lauren McKee's Peacekeeper. I'll come on to that later. He might have a chance. Mm-hmm. But
that's what Yuki thought.
Yuki knew his car money, and under Horner's regime, I don't think Lauren. I think it's going to be a little bit different in Red Bull.
I like Lauren.
I do, but we'll come on to it because I think your comments of the 2 points, the World Championship was 2 points, and the overtaking penalty. We'll come to Red Bull.
Yeah. Okay. Cam.
Yes. So I gave him a 6 out of 10. I believe for the first half, I've kept him at 6.
Okay.
My biggest fear is, it's already been mentioned, I would have preferred to have seen him do another year at the sister team. Yeah. I feel like it could be a jump too soon. And I would like to know like the request a bit of what race he's going to drop back down to RB. Because I just feel like it's, unfortunately for him, I just don't think he's going to be close enough to Max, and he'll get the chop at some point, and he'll probably improve for doing it. But it just seems to be what Red Bull do time after time after time.
Never works, does it? Okay, Liam Lawson. The only other thing I've got to add about Liam Lawson is that there was a reason he wasn't picked back to go to Red Bull. We'll start with Cam.
I've given him a 4. I didn't really know what to give Liam Lawson, I'll be perfectly honest. I give him a 3 for the first half of the season. Obviously, he was in the Red Bull. We expected more. I really struggled. I'm a bit like Tim when Tim's forgotten about Lance Stroll and the others. I forgot about Liam Lawson.
I was wondering where you're going there, a bit like Tim. I don't need 2 of them. Matty.
I've given him a 5. Middle of the middle.
What?
Middle of the... He has been more consistent.
Yeah.
He's moved up from where he was. Obviously, overall, I don't think he got enough time in the Red Bull. I think that knocked him. I think you've got it from... How do you take out of that?
But he's Liam Lawson.
He is. I don't know if I've been really generous with that. I'll give him a 4.5.
You might have been.
I'll give him a 4.5. I was trying to be nice because I think he got a shit deal.
A bum deal, yeah.
Sorry. But he did.
I gave him a 3.
Same.
So looking back at the first half, I gave him a 4.
Okay. Thanks for the fact.
So I think...
So stop going back and changing your first half of the season scores and just stand by it.
He did get better.
He did get better. Well, did he get better or did he get less worse?
He got relatively less worse.
I'm going to give him okay, fine. I'm going to go back to a 4 on the basis that I can't give him less than that, and that doesn't feel mint. But yeah,
all right, let's do Red Bull. Let's do Red Bull because Liam is a very forgettable person. Right, Red Bull. Max Verstappen goes undefeated in all but one qualifying session. I believe it was China, out-qualified by Yuki in Qatar sprint qualifying. Verstappen goes undefeated in the race, apart from one sprint race to Sonoda, and the one he DNF'd, Austria. 421 points and second place in the drivers' standings to Verstappen to Yuki's 33 points. I mean, what do I say? The Red Bull isn't designed around Yuki. He came in after missing pre-season. 10 points finishes in total across the season, 3 sprints and 7 races. I've written his teammates with Max Verstappen. That's a tough racket. Nowhere near Max at any point in the season. Rubbish defense against Lando at the end when it really counted. Look, I've given Yuki a 2.
Shall we just quick fire Yuki?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave him 2.5. I thought he was naff.
I need to go find him.
I've given him a 2 as well.
Okay.
I gave him a 2.5 in the first half of the year, which I think is fair. But he was given a 5 by you, Josh, a 4.5. Yeah, Cam gave him a 2.
Yeah, I gave him a 2.
Yeah, but Jake and I considered his time at Racing Bulls. That's over. That's over.
So Max
Verstappen. Okay, out-qualified by Yuki once all season. 8 race wins, 6 in the last half of the season. Podium streak of 10 races and 1 sprint race in the last half of the season as well. 2 sprint wins, Points in every race except Austria, where he was hit by Antonelli. Spain and Hungary were his lowest positions, 10th and 9th. Other than that, no lower than 6th. Gained 102 points on championship leader in 9 races, 104 behind Oscar to finish. Gained 115 on Oscar in total, 70 behind Lando, gained 68 on Lando. I've given him a 9.5.
I'll give him a 10.
And I've only done that because of his incident with Russell.
I'll give him a 10. That was in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
This is the second half of the season rankings. That doesn't count.
All right, bump me to a 10 then.
I do sort of agree, to be fair, because I gave him a 7 and I did absolutely slate him for what happened with Russell.
He's been basically faultless.
I'll give him a 10. I think he's been perfect. I think he's actually been perfect.
My season's 9.5.
Okay.
The Russell incident.
Yeah, Matty has to consider
You're doing the big sweep.
I've got the big sweep, so I've got that. But my other thing is, why did he not back up the pack in the final race?
Not worth it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, not worth it.
But he's going to lose. He's going to lose it anyway. So it's not worth it.
I mean, it would have potentially made McLaren make a very, very, very big call that would bring into question sporting integrity.
Maybe.
So not worth the risk. But your argument earlier was Lando never overtook him on track.
Yeah.
So he's never overtook him on track.
Yeah, but Piastri was in the way. I think if Norris is in the way, then yes.
But you take out the factor of he had to get to Lando.
Yeah.
He had to get Lando out of the equation.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it a lot more? I think he could have come second, couldn't he?
Who?
Max to Piastri.
Only if Lando was
off the podium.
Well, no.
No.
Lando needed to be 5th. He would need Russell involvement, and Russell was slow.
Russell was slow. But what I was going to say, more than anything, that is one thing. I think he should have backed the pack up. I think he should have.
Yeah, maybe he was just worried about DRS.
And this is where my point was. Red Bull have gone soft.
Whoa.
Just to finish up, Cam, what did you give Max?
I've given Max Verstappen a 9 out of 10.
Similar logic.
I think I said it in the first half of the season. Even though I gave him a 7, I gave him a 7 because of the incident with Russell and other things. He is the best. He is the best driver on the grid, and no one can take that away from him. However, Lando had a better car this year, and just quite interestingly though, so Lando and Max have both got the same average rating for the season, which again, just calling back to my ratings for the season, it's just pretty much bang on, isn't it? 2 points. 2 points was to the difference, and they both got an 8 out of 10 for me over the whole season.
Red Bull have gone soft.
Correct.
Explain yourself.
So you get to Abu Dhabi with Christian Horner in charge.
Oh yeah.
Now you take away what the man's done in other instances.
Yeah.
But they fought for everything. So why he would have been back in the pack up? And
they would have appealed the penalty.
They'd have done everything.
Yeah.
They didn't fight anything.
Yeah.
The only thing that they couldn't fight was him going mental at Spain.
Yes.
But the other instances, anything happened. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, and we'll just let them do what we want them to do. If Christian Horner had been in charge of that team, I ain't saying he'd have won it, but he would have had a different race. And I think he'd have backed the pack up somewhere wrong. And that would then put into Sonoda, they did that for a reason. They put him on them tyres and put him in that position.
Yeah.
But they needed other cars around. He was a sitting duck, whether he did the weaving or not. He was going past him.
Yeah.
I will say Christian Horner did love getting the sister team involved in stuff as well, didn't he?
Yes.
That's where, for me, you've got that. McLaren did goose the strategy in Qatar, somewhat wrong. They should have pitted one of them, if not both of them, but they kind of give it away.
Yeah.
I don't see, for other drivers coming in, I see Lauren McKee's doing a good job.
Yep.
That's why I think Hajar might have a chance, because Helmut Marko's now gone.
Yep.
Going.
Oh, we didn't even mention that.
Yeah, Helmut's gone.
Yeah.
Did you mention Portimao as well?
What about Portimao?
It's back on the calendar.
Portimao's not.
Yeah, it came back.
Yeah. No, we didn't mention that either.
Portugal is, but it's not Portimao, is it? I thought I saw earlier on it was a different track.
No, it's Portimao. Back for 27, 28 because
they're getting rid of Zandvoort.
No. BBC Sport just didn't put Portimao. Then they just put the actual proper racetrack name, and I didn't.
I'm pretty sure it said it was Portimao when I was reading it.
The Algarve. Cam.
Is that Portimao?
Yeah.
Take that back. Cut that.
Slice that.
They've lost the Newey. I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And what he can input in the car. But I think the others will get a crack at him. Is that a good thing? It is for the drivers, but for Max's domination of the car, I think they've now given up that leverage they had there.
Yeah.
Building a car to fit both. When in reality, you want to give Max everything because he is the best on the grid.
But you can't let happen what happened this year and have it that bad for the other person where the car.
Well, it's not just this year. It's been, but that's what I'm saying.
They lose their job.
It needs. This year has proved. I know when other teams have good cars as well, Max can't do it all by himself.
No,
that's what this year has shown. They need their second driver to be able to be somewhat in touching distance of a pit stop at least. And
half a second?
Yeah.
Difference?
7. Yeah, half a second.
Average.
Half a second difference on average.
That shows the cars.
When we're in the current era of F1, what we're in, or we're just leaving, where the cars are closer than ever in qualifying.
Yeah, you can't leave half a second on the table.
Which sometimes I step back and I just think half a second over like a minute and 20.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It is crazy. And we're like, oh, that's so slow. So bad. It's absolutely nuts. But yeah, you're right. That's the margins of the sport.
Yeah.
And it's just, but also it is a team sport.
Yeah.
So how long can you keep that going?
He can't be the hero.
It's finding that balance that they need to sort, which I think they will.
Yeah.
But at the detriment. And that's when I was going to say, when you was on about George coming into the fight next year, Toto will not give an inch.
No.
Lauren McKees will.
Yeah.
I like him. I'm not saying I don't like him, but I do not think he's got that mentality to lead a team when you need everything throwing.
Yeah.
Max needed.
When you need
Max
the kitchen
needs,
sink, Mekis is not the one.
Yeah, and that's where I feel that it is an upside for some drivers, but at the same time, I think Max would have been world champion.
Oh, yeah.
Not necessarily for all the other things that have happened, because obviously Max is a lot happier in that team now, which showed in that second half of the season. I think that performance coming, we didn't really mention it, but it's because everything's calmed down on the other side. I don't think he's cut up about helmet going, to be fair. I think he's kind of happy he's going, because he can do all these little crazy things out there and come out with some stupid things.
Yeah.
Kimi Antonelli.
Helmet seems like a piece of work.
Well, look at the laying into Kimi Antonelli.
Yeah.
Oh, he just let him pass. He didn't. But you don't look at anything but what you're seeing on a screen in front of you.
The thing is, as well, wasn't it Max that told Red Bull to apologise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is he going soft as well?
No, I don't think he is.
I think Max is just a fair guy. Like, I think he's...
Say that to George Russell.
Okay, true.
True. But
Lewis Hamilton.
Anybody he goes past.
Daniel Ricciardo, say it to him.
Albon, Gasly.
Yeah.
No, but I feel that Red Bull aren't the team that they were in that competitive nature. I think there pretends to be a better team for it, but I don't think they're competitive.
Yeah.
Or in that nature of as a whole team. Max has still got it, but when you said then, is Max going soft? No, I just think he's got a bit more humility now.
Yes.
I think as a person...
He's grown.
I think he's grown as a person. I think he puts the helmet on and he turns into an absolute weapon.
Monster, yeah.
But I think as an actual... I don't know if you guys watched the video with Chris Harris.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a good...
Insight
into him. And I watched it and I just went, he actually is just a really simple guy.
Just likes to drive.
He just actually loves driving.
To be fair, the Dutch are in general.
Apart from his dad.
Oh yeah, his dad's a piece of shit. But I think as a person, he doesn't. He strikes me as someone that would stand up against his boss being a dickhead.
Yeah.
Like I think he's a fair person. As a driver, maybe a separate argument, but I think when the helmet's off, he's not a bad guy.
And when the helmet comes off, he can see the things that happen. He might not come out and say them all.
Yeah.
He's never going to come out and kind of go, I was wrong for what happened in 2021.
No.
Anything I did was not my fault, even though he was as much to blame for some of the stuff that happened as Lewis. But he will come out when there isn't something that it wasn't directly involving him. It wasn't him on track that he had to go with. It was Norris, and then he was like, just come on.
And I know what you're saying though about Christian Horner in terms of like you go back to Max's first world title they won. It was Christian Horner on the radio. Come on, and we're going to get these back markers out of the way. Like,
yeah. No, I agree. We can talk about Max all day, but
I can't.
He gives me money.
Let's move on to Kick Sauber. We'll probably quickfire these because they've had quite a mid end to the season. They started developing around Spain, the whole Apex GP story that we talked about, Tim, where they have this magical floor upgrade in Spain, and then all of a sudden they get a string of points.
We were shredding that film to pieces. We were like, oh my God, like you can't just have a floor upgrade to battle in the corners and then win races and then suddenly
Kick Sauber have a floor upgrade to battle in the corners and
they've started to
get
battle.
podium.
Yeah.
So Bortoleto takes the advantage in quali 15-14. It's 3-all in sprint quali. Hulkenberg edges him in the race head-to-head.
Does he?
12-11. And in sprint race, it's 4-2 to Bortoleto. Hulkenberg obviously has way more points, 51-19, because Hulkenberg scored podium. And when you're scoring 2 or 3 points per every 3 or 4 races, a podium is huge. I've given Bortoleto a 5 and Hulkenberg a 6. I think Hulkenberg's just had the edge in the race, but both of them have done a pretty solid job.
God, was edging along?
I'm exactly the same as
Exactly the same. Cam?
So Bortoleto, I've upped him from a 4 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10, which I believe I got slated for giving him a 4 in the first half
you
of the
did.
season.
Yeah,
that was a point.
He was on a run of points.
I'm trying to find Nico Hulkenberg and I can't.
Don't slate Gabby.
I was going to. I actually originally agreed with the two of you with a 5-6 split, and then I sort of went, actually, come second half because we discount Hulkenberg's podium.
Yeah,
I'll just give them both 5.5.
Fine. I think we're just splitting hairs at that point.
We are, yeah, absolutely.
So I found him. So I gave Nico Hulkenberg a 5 in the first half of the season. It was just after his podium, so it was escalate. You know, that was going into mind. Obviously, recency bias. I've given him a 4.
Oof. So Gabby a 5.
Oh,
yeah. Hulkenberg a 4.
Yeah, for the second half of the season.
Gabby a 5. Tim.
Oh, my bad.
Hulkenberg still showing that he's still got his racecraft.
Yeah,
he's a solid midfield driver.
Yeah,
that's
I'm excited
what he's
for
got
next year. Let's see what Audi can bring.
The last team on the grid then. Williams. So
Williams.
I've been super impressed with Williams. We slated Sainz at the start of the season, but he's come back strong. So it's 17-12 in quali, 3-all in the sprint qualies. Albon's got a 14-9 advantage in the race. Sainz a 4-2 in the sprints. They finish on 73 and 64 advantage Albon. It's perhaps been one of the closest qualifying sessions apart from McLaren, with an average of 0.08 seconds gap in qualifying sessions. Alex has had a really strong start to the season. Sainz had a really strong end to the season. It was quite difficult to split them. 9 points finishes in the first 14 races for Albon. 3 back-to-back DNFs, 2 points finishes in the second half, and some points at the US Sprint. Retirements have largely been due to damage, crashing with Tsunoda. Sainz, on the other hand, retirement in Australia and Bahrain, points in the other races in the first half, but not huge. In the second half of the season, though, he's hit the ground running. Podium in Baku, points in Singapore, sprint podium in US, points in Vegas, podium in Qatar, and almost equaled Albon. I've written highs are high, lows are low for Sainz, but Albon's been quite consistent. So I gave Albon a 6.5 and Sainz a 7 for the second half of the season.
Oof. I've given Albon a 6.5. Like I say, great start. 7 points finishes out the first 8 races. Come out the gate really well. Yeah, he had damage, but he did fall off a cliff as well. He did his performance.
He threw himself off a cliff.
Yeah, he was so bad. Well, in comparison to where he started, the team did get there, but he was so bad compared to where he was. As much as Albon's been good, if he needs to get rid of that flunk, because he needs to pull out his big boy pants and get on with it, because this is what they've been gearing up to.
Yep.
All they've spoke about is 26. And if he starts like he's finished this season, or the back end of the season, for me, he's going to be in trouble. Sainz a 7.5. I think as a whole, I think he started unluckily. He was misfortune to start with. There wasn't a lot of stuff he did wrong, but once he found his feet in Williams, he was going. Yeah. And as I said earlier, in regards to Hamilton, he must be thinking, "What did I do wrong at Ferrari?" Because it was just literally a name that's changed that. Because it wasn't performances that got him the drive, because he was bad at Mercedes, but he must feel so hard done so. But at the same time, he's in a team that actually appreciate him.
Yeah.
So he's probably in a better place.
Cambo.
So, can you please remind the viewers what I gave Carlos Sainz the first half of the season?
A 1 and a 7 to Alex Albon.
Yeah, so Albon was fantastic when he first half of the season. And Carlos Sainz, and I'm not buying this new team, it's the 5th team he's joined in F1.
Correct.
He should be used to it. Now, I gave him a 1, and I said why, and my God, did he deliver in the second half of the season? He was back to being smooth operator. I've given him an 8.5.
Whoa!
For the second half of the season,
baby.
two podiums. I just thinking that Williams is absolutely insane. Alex Albon, I've put him down to a 6. I felt like in the first half of the season he was outperforming the car. I feel like in the second half of the season he was just on the grid.
Okay, Tim.
Yeah, similar story. I gave Alex a 5.5. Second half, I thought he was crap. Carlos, I gave him an 8 because he was mint.
Fair. Yeah, no, I think we're all in agreement that he's turned that misfortune at the start of the season into a strong second half. Podiums in that Williams is impressive. Taking Williams to 5th in the constructors is also impressive, and really, right up there with Ferrari on many occasions.
In James Vowles we trust.
What does that do to the numbers? So basically, Max Verstappen in the second half of the season, Max Verstappen is our highest rated driver with 9.6, followed by Lando Norris 8.8 and George Russell 8.4.
Yeah, that's correct.
McLaren are our top team for 7.6 and 7.4 for Mercedes in second and 6.9 for Williams in third. The season totals, Max Verstappen comes out on top with an 8.6. Followed by Lando Norris on 8.4 and George Russell on 8.2. So I think we're all pretty much in agreement about that. What?
Piastri really dropped.
Really dropped. McLaren obviously come out as team of the year for us, coming to a nice satisfying 8 out of 10, followed by Mercedes 7.1 and Williams 6.0. We all pretty much agreed Alpine were rubbish, followed by Racing Bulls and Aston Martin, and then Racing Bulls. Lance Stroll dragging everybody down. And that's it, guys. That's it for 2025 ahead at the Apex. Whoa. We did it. We made it.
And the inaugural ahead of the Apex Rookie of the Year, Ollie Behrman.
No, I absolutely agree with you, Cam. And statistically, I guess, what did Behrman get? 6 for the season. Hadjar got a 6.4.
Really?
Kimi Antonelli a 6 as well.
So never mind. Congratulations to Isaac Hadjar.
The ratings say different.
The ratings say it should be Isaac Hadjar. The ratings are helped by Jake's 7 from the first half of the season.
Well, that's, it's sharp.
So I think we give it to Ollie Behrman. Well done, Ollie. We'll send you some stickers or something.
Yeah, Ollie, if you can get in touch, send us your address.
DM us
turn up at your house.
On Instagram at aatapex, Ollie, and we'll send you those stickers. Don't worry, we'll keep your address confidential. Just me and a few thousand friends. I have nothing else to say, really, Tim. I mean, thank you for joining this journey for the year. Being part of it, agreeing to do this insane
pleasure
new thing that neither of us had done before.
Yeah, it's a cool adventure.
Thanks to Cam for appearing on both of these.
Thoroughly enjoyed it.
F1 ratings, and thanks for Matty for coming to the last one.
Yeah, I didn't get invited to the first one, but you know.
I mean,
what do we call this? Do we call this the committee?
The committee.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, nice.
The committee has spoken,
and we'll reconvene summer next year.
Start
of season.
Yeah, annual board
Start
meeting.
of the season. Yeah, predictions. We should do predictions.
We should do
predictions. We spoke about doing some testing stuff about the WEC and the F1 testing and stuff, but predictions would be a good idea.
We could do a predictions episode. That would be fun. And then we can laugh about how wrong we were.
Yes.
So
when Max Verstappen wins the title in 5 races.
So predictions, mid-season review, and end of season review. Then
3 podcasts. You up for that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Boom, boom.
I mean, we're going to do a lot more than 3. I'm not looking at you to be like 3 podcasts. Yeah. That's what I want you for next year. No. Yeah, so all of that will go up on blog.aheadatheapex.com. Check us out on Instagram. The marketing team is getting back into gear, right?
Yeah.
At AAT Apex, and that's the same on Twitter and YouTube now.
Boom.
Leave us a comment or something if you disagreed with Cam's ratings in the Spotify comment section.
Peace.
Peace.